Tale as old as time,
Song as old as rhyme,
moisturing nasheed.
By the Council of Elders. Let me say it again. Let me educate these celebrities one time. Who I date is my business. Sorry, my brother Shannon Sharp. Who you date is not your business. Why? Because if a community is made up of families, and families are made up of individuals, if a community is made up of families, and families are made up of individuals, if a community is made up of families, and families are made up of individuals, how can what you do not be any of my business? One of the biggest problems we have as African people is thinking what goes on in our house doesn't concern other black people. What do you think the word community means?
Greetings and salutations. This is BIGJXXX. Now, before I get to the meat and the crux of this video is a sequel or a continuation of a video I made back in January. Actually I put it out on March 7th, 2022, and it was titled The Online Desecration. The Online Desecration of Martin Luther King. That video never really made any views, 62 views at least. But I got to do a sequel to that. And this is also what happened on Rashid For You's channel. Now, Rashid For You, over the weekend, Rashid asked me why I do not consider myself a pro-black. She thinks it is of some, I'm just rebellion. In her mind, she thinks I'm just rebellion. Because I'm black, I'm supposed to be in lockstep with certain narratives. But she and other people need to grasp on why I call pro-blacks of the 21st century the so-called pro-blacks. So let me do this right now. What if, all intents and purposes, I take someone like a Fred Hampton, a Martin Luther King, a Malcolm X, a James Baldwin, Maya Angelou, Lena Horne, Eartha Kitt. Maybe I sprinkle in Booker T. Washington, Dermgood Marshall. Maybe if I sit there and add it in Frederick Douglass or the Mr. Delaney, and I forgot his name. I think it's Colonel Delaney. If I drew all these men, and even W.E. Du Bois, and yes, I would even draw in Marcus Garvey into the mix. Let's say we got all these all these personalities. I put them in a room. I bet you 9 times, no, I'll be, I said 8 times out of 10. I bet you 8 or 9 times out of 10, these personalities will sit there and actually have a conversation, a civic conversation, a civil conversation. And I guess that word civic just popped up to mind. Well, Big J, what are you referring to? Well, there's a thing called a civic culture. A lot of you so-called pro-blacks on YouTube, those that follow your Tariq Nasheeds, your Umar Johnsons of the world, your Boyce Watkins, the House of Consciousness, any and every one of y'all, you're psychopathic atheists, you're Renee Blacks. The problem is y'all are not capable of lacing up the shoes of the aforementioned individuals I mentioned earlier. Because there's one thing they have that you don't have. And that's having a civic culture mindset. Because let's just say, for all intents and purposes, let's say we go back in time and we sit there and we take Lena Horne, or we take Maya Angelou, or we take a James Baldwin and even Barry Belafonte, and let's say we put them in the same room with the people of today, the so-called pro-blacks of today. You know what's going to happen? Y'all would not work with James Baldwin. You know why y'all wouldn't work with James Baldwin? Because James Baldwin is homosexual. Y'all will not work with Maya Angelou because Maya Angelou is married to or have been in relations with white men. Y'all wouldn't work with Lena Horne because Lena Horne doesn't have enough melanin, and there's a possibility that she's not full black. Y'all wouldn't even fool with Barry Belafonte because Barry Belafonte has a preference with white women. See, the thing is, what y'all practice, with y'all so-called pro-blacks of today, is that y'all practice something that is called cultural tribalism, or tribalistic culture. And let me read something what tribalistic culture or cultural tribalism means. Tribalism is the loyalty or preference to one own people. That part, I don't mind. That part's fine. I don't expect black men, black women to be disloyal to his or her own race. That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is this tribalistic where everything is subservient. Or should I say this? Cultural tribalism is a way of thinking or behaving in which people are loyal to their social group above all else. Or a type of that practice a type of discrimination and animosity towards other groups. That's why a lot of you on YouTube, ever since when Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell, and that's why they have their own videos on private. But I'm gonna find that video what Tone Talks put out, because that's one of y'all's leaders. I know you don't want to admit it, but he was y'all's ever since he wrote out what ADOS. Ever since ADOS came out, Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks put it out. Many of you kept talking about tangibles. Tangibles. We need tangibles. Repeating their talking point. As if what they're saying is something new. But while that was going on, many of y'all did not want to lead. And let me say this too. Because let me put something else in the description box. Because I forgot to tell people, check the links before y'all watch this video. But anyway, because there was a video I made when I was on Talk Real Solutions. And I read the ADOS101.com, which was the website at the time, which is down, which I put up on a blog talk show called Talk Real Solutions back in, I want to say 2018, 2019, early 2019, where people who are who have one black parent, or who were not full-blood black, many of y'all, I witnessed many biracials being attacked on this sector of YouTube. Don't sit there deny it. It had happened. Because I can name the names. But for these two individuals, I'm not gonna name their names for the time period. But don't blame the golden sphere or whoever. No, blame some of y'all in y'all's camp who call people half a Becky, or using stupid terms like, oh, you're a sellout. Because I bet you right now, lying what I said, if you put James Baldwin back where y'all was in today, y'all would slaughter him. Even though he's one of the great debaters, great researchers in black American history, especially in the 20th century. But y'all of today would roast him because he's homosexual. Same way like y'all was talk about Barry Belafonte. Y'all try to remove him out of the conversation because, in the words of what Renee Black have done to Mr. K on Talk Real Solutions, you have no business in the movement. Just because his wife or his choice of woman is not of the African dissent. Same way like y'all would possibly would do to some of you pro-black simps. Probably might do that to Maya Angelou. And in fact, y'all will do that to Martin Luther King when we know right now, y'all will do this to Martin Luther King. Why y'all would do that to Martin Luther King? I'll tell you why. Well, BJ, we ain't gonna do that to Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King was still alive and he's here. Oh, really? Then how many times every January? Every time when January rolls out, you see some of y'all hanging the pictures of Martin Luther King upside down. Some of y'all would, instead of calling it Martin Luther King Day or MLK thing or Dr. King Day, a lot of y'all will sit there on y'all's tail feather. On y'all's tail feather. And call it Integrationist Day. Mocking with mocking tone. Y'all call it Integrationist Day. Calling it the white man's all this other sick and disrespectful tones. And then instead of talking about the speeches about when Martin Luther King talked about reparations, a lot of y'all will sit there and talk about not about his speech about reparations that many of y'all would agree with. Yet y'all will talk about what J. Edgar Hoover and his white supremacist ways of trying to convince MLK, Dr. King, to commit suicide with the blackmail letters. And then y'all try to do this sneaky gender warring with using with Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott, his wife. But that's an easy thing because we see y'all did that with Martin Luther King. But some of y'all make videos in support of Fred Hampton. We all know Fred Hampton, right? Many of y'all would trash Fred Hampton. Oh, the great Black Panther leader of Chicago. In 1969, he met his end by a person who really should be called the C word. But however, when he tried to organize his Black Panther Party with the white and I forgot their names, with the impoverished white class, I think it was the white Polish group in Chicago, and trying to team up with work with the Latino Chicano movement in Chicago. I bet a lot of y'all in this so-called pro-black community will say, no, we don't deal with you. See, this goes back to the point of a cultural tribalism that y'all practice in these YouTube streets. That's why people don't take you seriously. That's why y'all like to make up claims and try to quote unquote police someone's personal life as if your channel, your words in those pro-black simps that's in y'all's comment section can sit there and police other individuals. But all this is about, let me say what this really is about. Again, y'all not man enough or woman enough to lace the shoes of the giants that came before you. Allow me to say this to you 21st century pro-blacks. You 21st century pro-blacks. Y'all are not, and I repeat this again, y'all are not man enough or woman enough to lace the shoes of all of your ancestors that actually fought, died for your benefit. That's why, though, you don't see me calling myself a pro-black. That's why y'all make these idiotic declarations like what I heard, though, the other day. I think this was Psychopathia's channel, when he said 85% of black people in America are Negropeans. But he said he's pro-black. Well, then he said 15, or I think it's 15, he said 10% are coons and the 5% are pro-black. And is this 5% act like they know how to run or tell anybody about their blackness? Again, that is an example of cultural tribalism. Y'all can sit there and deny it. You can sit there and try to roast your way out of it. But the facts doesn't lie. And you got this one woman, and I might put this footage in the before this video, of one woman trashing black lawyers and black people who went to college, black people who made names of themselves, and called them Sambos, as if Thurgood Marshall, who was a black lawyer, a black judge, who got rid of the Brown v. Board, fought Brown v. Board. While y'all get on YouTube, hold on, watch this, y'all. While y'all get on YouTube and one of y'all said Brown v. Board was the worst thing that happened to black people. When black people did not receive the best books, the best chairs, the best desk, the best equipment. Some of y'all try to romanticize the past. Immigration was bad for black people. As if a black person going to two counties. I use myself personally for this. No, you know what? I'm not going to use my family history for this. But I'll say this: why would a woman, a pregnant black woman in labor, have to cross two counties to give birth in Texas, in the winter time of Texas, when there's snow and sleet? But y'all here act like though immigration was a bad thing. And y'all misquote Martin Luther King when he was talking to Barry Belafonte, talking about, I integrate my people into a burning house. That's one of the best misquote statements. If you're going to quote somebody, quote the entire statement. But y'all won't do that. Like how some of y'all misquote John Henry Clark. Because that's really is the origins of y'all's cultural tribalism. But I'll talk about that more later on. But let me just say this. When John Henry Clark said, "We have no friends," y'all misquote that man. How about y'all read or listen to what he said after that? When it comes to Martin Luther King, talking to Barry Boniface, he said, listen, we must be I'm afraid I integrate my people into a burning house. He wasn't talking about immigration was bad. No. If you finish the sentence, if you finish the conversation, that's why a lot of y'all have bad comprehension. If you finish the statement, he said this: we must be the firemen that put out the fire. And the whole statement between Martin Luther King and Barry, what's his face? Barry Boniface was over the moral decay, the Vietnam War, and the incoming recession of the late 1960s and yes, into the 1970s. That was the conversation. And when John Henry Clark said the statement, "We have no friends," he also said we must work with other groups of poor people. Now, that's a paraphrase right there. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what the gist of this, when he had that debate. But y'all love to sit there, misquote some of y'all's ancestors. I'm using y'all's words, not mine. Y'all misquote y'all's ancestors. Y'all quote y'all's fallen kings, y'all fallen prince to griff. Because a lot of y'all have something, and that is what Francis Quelch Wilson, John Henry Clark, Amos Wilson, and Clark Anderson gave y'all in the 21st century that y'all really the issue is those four individuals, and no disrespect to them. Let me repeat that again. No disrespect to them. Well, let me talk about Clark Anderson in a minute. But let me also add to that list Neely Fuller. But nonetheless, here's the thing. They gave y'all racial insecurity. Too many of y'all tried to put yourselves and live vicariously through these individuals. Francis Quelch Wilson was talking about white supremacy in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So was John Henry Clark. So was Amos Wilson. But their lives ain't y'all's lives. You have the opportunity of today to do what's right. But no, Y'all want to make YouTube videos, having y'all sons. Oh yes, I'm talking about one of y'all. You have your son on a YouTube video, all because he's with a white woman. Y'all praise Umar Johnson when Umar Johnson came after and insulted the son of LeBron James. Went after children, the marriage, not children, the marriage of Shannon Sharp, as if that's supposed to change the world, as if berating children, berating marriages of other individuals is supposed to change the world and the betterment of black people around the world. This is why y'all don't have a civic culture. That's why, though, y'all would do the Pan-Africanism. That's why y'all go to this so-called pro-blackism. And that's why I said this. That's why I said the pro-black community of the 21st century is nothing more than the alt-right in blackface. Now y'all can sit and tell me I'm whining, but I'm telling y'all the truth. Because none of you are man enough or woman enough to go one-on-one with me on a neutral platform. None of you are capable to debate with reason. None of you can debate with facts. Because one thing I do notice is fear in y'all's heart. Y'all worry about biracials on TV commercials. Y'all worry about Barack Obama and Kamala Harris, but two biracials elected in higher position. You worry about interracial couples on Cheerio commercials, car commercials, in movies like Sonic the Hedgehog. Y'all was crying about what happened on that Marvel show called what's it called? Luke Cage. And then y'all worry about why Luke Cage, the actor who played Luke Cage, has a white wife or dating a white woman. Then y'all get on YouTube. I know since Michael B. Jordan is now in the spotlight in black social media recently, but wasn't 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago when Michael B. Jordan was on a boat in middle of Europe, off the coast of Europe. Y'all make video after video after video trashing this man because he was on a boat with a bunch of Caucasian women. And let's not forget when I think this was Serena Williams or Venus, one of the Williams sisters, and y'all sit there and berate I think it was Serena. When y'all berated her when she got with this man who made Reddit and have this biracial baby, and y'all make video after video after video after video trashing this woman when she had a breakdown on that tennis court a few years ago. No, that tells me because of all of that, you know, along with the Halle Berry, along with the what's her name, the one that married, they used to marry the Nick Cannon, man, I forgot her name. Her name escaped me for a moment. Not Halle Berry. What's her name? Her name coming to me in a minute. But how y'all will sit there and try to force other black people to say, she's not black. As if that's supposed to benefit black people in society. No, that proves one thing. Y'all got racial insecurity. Y'all are insecure about your own blackness, but then y'all call yourself being pro-black. How can let me calm down. Let me calm down. How can you have all this insecurity about being black, but then you call yourself pro-black? But you worry about biracials. You worry about certain politicians who happen to have black blood in them getting elected as president and vice president of these United States. Y'all more about that than worry about policy. And then y'all want to know why there is a brain drain in black society. Y'all so busy calling other people squares or lames, or, you know, if those two ain't working, if those two names ain't working, then y'all go down to another level, like the word coon. Y'all got racial insecurity, and that's a fact. But y'all don't want to admit that. You see, if we go back in 1964, in 1965 rather, but let's start at 1964 first. Martin Luther King met with Malcolm X at the United States Capitol while they was debating the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and sit there and they shook hands. During the whole Selma issue, when Martin Luther King was locked up and couldn't arrive at his own church, who attended his church? Who gave the speech at his church, even though he was not a Christian? Malcolm X. Malcolm Shabazz, the late Malcolm Shabazz. If I had my camera on, I will show you my wall. Because this quote-unquote coon that y'all called me, this COON that y'all called me, y'all look at my wall and y'all say, well, Big J, what is this? What's all this pictures of black leaders on your wall? Well, let me tell you something. Those men whose picture I got on this wall, they have something that none of y'all got. that is a civic culture. They knew that black people are not a monolith. They understand that being black is more than just your personal issues. Black people are just like everybody else, with different degrees of, and I said degrees, and I ain't talking about college degrees, I'm talking about degrees of station in life, degrees of health and economics. You know, it's not this one. The problem with you, problem with many of y'all on YouTube, I don't care if it's psychopath atheists, I don't care if it's Renee Black, I don't care if it's Lashit for you, Lashit for you, I don't care if it's Maurice Muhammad, I don't care. Anybody else in between, y'all don't practice civic culture. Y'all don't have the mindset of having a civic culture because y'all too busy being insecure in your blackness, and that is the problem. Well, I shouldn't raise my voice, but it's a fact. So I'll say this: who's in charge? Who gave you this idea of being insecure? Who's in charge here? My name is BIGJXXX. That's why y'all scared to have me on y'all's panels. That's why though y'all don't, and if I'm on the panels, y'all don't want to do no one-on-one. Because y'all know, because I know y'all only pick on people who have small channels. I do know that. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Civic culture versus tribal culture. Or well, cultural cultural tribalism. Anyway, I'm out.